Zed's dead, baby.
So yeah, that's happening. This is a 1990 Nissan 300ZX. Nice. So obviously you can tell that the car is very stanced, and that was the look my buddy Keith was going for. And I feel honored that Keith is letting me drive this, because he doesn't let that many people drive it. So I feel honored. So hopefully this goes well. Just kidding. Okay, so first gear. This is a 25-year-old clutch. It's never replaced it, and this is the non-turboed version, by the way. So before anybody asks that, now you know. Actually came out of first gear a lot easier than I thought it would. It's kind of a heavy clutch, but the pedals on this feel so much different. Not weird, but like different, because obviously on the BRZ, shit is like a lot more modern feeling type thing. Obviously this car is stanced, and it looks beautiful in my opinion. And so suspension wise, he is on Megan coilovers, and it has the full sways, bushings. I'm not even gonna name everything because it has a lot of stuff done. But it is on Varstoin wheels, which I've been having a really hard time pronouncing that name, so I'm glad I got it done. And the low life is real, and you really have to be careful. So going over these bumps, I'm really starting to be careful. Gee, so it's 5 gears, and the throw is long. It has a long shifter, but like I said, it's 25 years old. So from where modern technology is today, for where this is, it's a huge difference. But it feels really good. I'm getting used to it fairly quickly, and I'm not really having trouble figuring out what I'm doing. I mean, you're seeing this exactly when I first drive it. So when I was going into third, I was like, did I miss it? I don't know what happened, but feels nice. I do like it. So the steering wheel is an NRG quick release wheel. It's like this mahogany color, which I always see them on cars, but I've never actually driven one. And I like how thin it is. It feels really nice and makes me feel like a race car, because it's like the quick release stuff. So it has a nice raspy tone, which I personally like. I didn't think that I would like it that much, but it actually sounds really nice. And the exhaust is basically a custom exhaust, and it has 2.5-inch H pipes, and it has its resonators gone, and it has the mufflers, but it's pretty much custom, and it sounds really good. Especially like when it's in the low RPMs and it's like just putting along. It almost reminded me of like an RB26 sound. Not the bold statement, but that's one of the first things I thought of. And the front of this car, it's literally a cockpit. It reminds me of kind of like the Supra. Oh God, that's something to get used to. It's like, when I say cockpit feel, it's like there's no like middle dash right here. It's like all your AC controls is almost on the tachometer, but it's off to the side, which again, styling from 25 years ago. But I am surprised that it does have power seats, and it does have power windows, and my BRZ doesn't even have power seats. Oh, and power mirrors for that matter.
Heated mirrors too.
And heated mirrors. So whenever I go to shows and I see my buddy Keith bring this car, literally everybody that walks by it stops and has to ask about it. It's probably one of the most popular cars at the meets that he goes to, and everything done on this car is done by him. So if you noticed when we were showing the interior, it's all black, and stock is not how it was whatsoever. He dyed the car himself, actually I think 2 or 3 weeks ago. So there's kind of a hint of like a dye scent in the car. It's very interesting, but it turned out really well. It looks really good. I feel like if I didn't tell you that it wasn't stock black, you would think it was. Almost missed. I think I did miss. I just went straight from 2 to 5. I definitely missed. Well, So the car handles really well. Like I said, it's done like he didn't go for power, and I don't blame him. It's just kind of like the BRZ in a sense that it wasn't meant to go super fast. It's just meant to look good, and I like that. So like I said, this is not the turbo version, and the power in this car is actually more than I thought it would be. Like first gear, that rasp, oh my God, it sounds really good. Sounds so good, and it handles like it stays very flat to the ground, like extremely flat. So obviously we're not on a track and we can't go through corners like a madman, but going around on the streets, it feels so planted, but very bumpy. Give and take though, when you go for the whole stance look and you literally like, this is one of the best fitting cars I've ever seen, and rides pretty well. Like I would have thought it would have been worse than this. Not saying it's like a cloud, but it's like a very stiff cloud. So as I'm going around driving it, I'm really getting used to it, and the shifter feels it's a lot longer of a throw, especially driving the BRZ when it's really notchy and really short. It's kind of like, whoa, really long. It reminded me of like the WRX, but now that I'm getting used to it, I really am starting to like it. And the steering wheel, I thought my hands would get sweaty on this, but they're not. I'm known for getting sweaty hands, so I was just kind of, oh, brakes, 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 brakes. Brakes. Well, they work, but they feel like they're from a 25-year-old car. Obviously, the brakes have been replaced, but you know what I mean. That sounds so good. So talking about sound, the motor in this car is a VG30DE, making about 222 horsepower and 198 torque to the crank, and which is really similar to the BRZ. So it's kind of like the more I drive this car, the more I'm like actually like realizing, wow, this car is really similar to the BRZ in the way that actually the body itself and the way that it handles and the power, very, very similar. It's like long lost brothers meeting each other once again. You can follow this build on Instagram right here, and go ahead and give him a follow and get his car noticed, because it deserves a lot more attention than it already has. God, that rasp at the top is so good. I want to thank Keith very much for letting me take out his baby, because I know he doesn't do it very often. And thank you all so much for watching. I will catch you next time in the next video. Peace out.
As much as this is a good thing, we're going to change it out. Here we have the new Tom's taillight. This is essentially Miley's new booty cheek. Let's go install it.